Welcome back to Pirate Adventures. Where we last left off, our dear crew decided their next moves, choosing to bolster their ranks and set forth for Kenshima, an island of warriors, in a way to strengthen their ranks as well as replenish their crew. On the journey, some strange things afoot. The globe mysteriously glitching, blinking, reacting to something, perhaps, on their journey. And bar that, a particular business proposition agreed and accepted between Umbra and the Captain Vaela. We finished there where we begin here. The arrival at Kenshima docks. Or I should say, the very individual fishing boat dock, which is all they have. Every single villager armed with a blade, standing in an offensive position. Blades up, pointed directly at the ship as it docks. And I put it all to all of you. What would you like to do? They do not look very happy to see you.
Vaela will sort of go towards whatever edge of the ship to obviously them kind of go, please, we come in peace. We simply want to dock and have a word with your elders. But we mean you no harm, but we will defend ourselves.
An elderly half-orc man sort of steps a little bit forward out of the crowd. He wears very small spectacles touching the bridge of his nose. Grey hair tied up in a bun with the rest of his longer locks falling back. Sideburns coming up directly underneath his cheekbones and finishing to a point. His tusks sticking out of his face, one looking slightly longer than the other. And his blade particularly looks impressive. The hilt on this blade, the handle, looks like it's carved from marble and seems to be in the shape of a Chinese dragon, as the head is sticking out on the pommel, bearing a ruby in its jaws. And he steps forward to look at you and goes, "Why have you come, bearing such weapons? What is your purpose here?"
We come seeking those who would look for adventure, look for worthy adversaries, and give them the avenue to do so.
We could also bring news of Zorro. I have his wanted poster. Maybe his family might like it.
That's probably a second conversation.
Certainly.
Just in case Zorro left, like pissing them all off.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
So you come like those before you, to take our young and
Well,
pillage our lands.
No, we don't take. We offer.
Do you also seek some mystical thing, apparently hidden on our island? Are you as crazed as the last captain that came here?
We will only search for such a thing on your blessing. We would never violate your lands.
Promises are hard to keep.
Well, you have mine. As the good Captain Vaela of the Boneblade.
And I do not know you, Captain Vaela of the Boneblade. I do not know your word.
Well, how about we can have a sit down and have a chat and you can learn the validity of my word.
You will anchor further ashore, further from shore.
Very
You
well.
may bring 5 with you.
Very well. Thank
Unarmed.
Okay. Thank you for the hospitality. She'll head back into the sort of away.
They're all staying there until the ship leaves.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, we've got five. One, five with me, right? So obviously Elizora, Tim, Alarias, Umbra. Beside better judgment.
Aye.
Fifth. Who can we take as a fifth? That would be good.
Don't have to take up. Don't have to maximize it.
No, but I think it is worth maybe taking.
Elena?
No, they don't like
No.
Elena there.
She said
Oh no,
explicitly
she
not
said
to.
no.
I would prefer not to, if we can avoid that, please.
Yeah. I'm just gonna quickly.
Bring Barry.
Maybe.
He's smart.
He is, but he's more smart in terms of like looking after.
Thanks,
the
Tim.
crew.
Tim didn't say that out loud.
Actually, I wonder if Bill would be a good person to take.
I like the idea that if this, like, there's sort of a deliberation of you guys, like, maybe discussing it very quietly, and you just feel a very small tug on your coat from the side, very low down tug, and it's Tiberius Deepmount. My Capitan, I would very much greatly admire to watch these sword fighters in play. Perhaps I can become part of your party. I see you are deliberating your fifth member.
Very well. But I've heard stories about your you going ashore, and I can tell you right now, if you commit any atrocities like that, you will be left, and they will get to exact whatever punishment they feel.
I feel like if there's any chance of atrocities, we should at least take a vote.
My Capitan, I will be on my best behavior. And he puts a hat
as long
forward
as he
and
doesn't drink or
bows.
anything, we should be all right. I think, but I don't know.
On my honor.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to be pretty good with the sword, right? So it might actually work out pretty well. So, any objections, Elizora?
I suppose can I vibe check? Can I do an insight check real quick
On Tiberius?
on his honor?
Yes, please give me an inside check on that. 100%.
It's a 9 + 6, 15.
Okay, so it seems like even though he can be foolish and definitely is one for having fun, the seriousness of his tone when he mentions honor, this is not something he would willingly break. He's clean.
Thank you.
Thank you. I washed this one.
Well, if Tim vouches for you, and if Elizora's happy with it as well, then I say don't see why not.
My only counterpoint thoughts like is if we're going on land unarmed, is it worth having another magic user who has capabilities besides a blade?
I am very good with other things than just my blade.
Can you use magic?
Don't go there.
Can you use
What?
magic, Tiberius?
No, I am a rogue, a fighter. But I'm just saying, I have my words, I have my wits.
Leave those to the
and I
captain.
Yeah.
very much like to learn more ways of the blade if it gets me my revenge.
How much do you know of Kenshima, Tiberius?
I know they are some of the greatest swordsmen of all the lands, yet they involve themselves in very little.
Okay.
And if Elena is anything to go by it, they are possibly the most incredible swordsmen ever to live.
Elizora, I'm assuming, well, I can only assume that you are maybe referring to taking Temarin with us.
Alright, it's only maybe for consideration, but if we're not intending to fight anyway, then it doesn't matter too much. It's just for consideration.
No, that's very fair. I mean, we have the way I see it, however, we have yourself, we have Alarias, we have Tim, we have Umbra. They can all use well, Umbra, sort of magic, I suppose. I mean, they're not going to search his bag, I guess. I don't know, but that should be enough, I would have thought.
It's up to you.
Yeah. She will inquire at you with Tamarin, like, if he knows anything extra. Because out of the two, like, if Tamarin knows more, or has another, or could actually, we can get more out of him going, like, I don't know. Or help him do something.
You find him sort of studying over his spellbook, and you ask, I've never been. I've read a few
Shocking.
tales. Thank you, Elizora. I know my father thought there was something there at some point. It was so long ago. He never talked about it again, so I never really questioned, but he had an interest in Kenshima. We were researching it at one point. There is something darker at work, I think. This island is not just swordsmen. There was more. There's a reason it's protected. There's a reason it only has them on it.
Okay. Well, that sounds...
That's all I remember from the research, but I would need access to Father's libraries.
I'm leaning more towards, I think, taking Tamarin. I'm thinking about it. Alright. Tell you what, we'll take Tamarin this time around. But next time, Tiberius, if we get to smooth things over, then you can be on the next wave of people or shift in. After all, if you do want to, at the moment the only way you're going to see what they're fighting is like as if they're fighting you. So, if we can smooth things over, who knows? Maybe they'll let you watch or practice with them.
And if we get any recruits of our own.
Yes.
I would be very much interested, Capitan. If that is the way it must go forward, I will accept your orders.
Very well. Good. Right, yeah, so us lot and Tamarin will go across. Obviously, leaving the weapons there. So
before you leave, where do you go to? Probably Alarias. Probably go to Alarias and just be like, I know you are very good at your writings and your glyphs and such. Perhaps if things do not go so swimmingly and you happen to catch someone doing certain movements, you could write them down for me. Perhaps draw the forms. I would be very interested, my friend.
I'll take note of that. Did you mean their fighting styles?
Yes.
Or any
yes.
glyphs? Okay.
Their forms, their kata, whatever they call it. I think Elena called it kata. Their footwork, it is very important. Always look at the feet. That is why I'm so good, haha. Because I am short. Okay. Thank you.
No one has, only Umbra technically has a bag of holding, right? No one else has anything like that. I just don't know if there's a way to sneak the storm sword across. But I don't think there is.
Not worth the risk.
No, probably not.
No, certainly not.
No. So we just need an R2D2 unit to just beam it out. Load it into the cannon and just shoot it.
That's what we needed a battlesmith for, not an alchemist.
That's true, yeah. Or if what's it the Eldritch Knight fighter?
Yeah.
Summons their swords. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine.
Warlock Hexblade.
Yeah.
Also an option.
Yeah. But she will put her storm sword into her quarters, and obviously her weapons and all the weapons that she's got on her.
Haiss, is your character sheet on Beyond up to date? Because I don't see a.
No, I don't use that one. I have got my own notes. Yeah, Umbra's got a bag of holding.
Okay, cool. Just clarifying. That's no problem. Okay, cool.
Okay. Then that's what she'll do. She'll drop all that, the storm sword, the rapier, all the other variety of weapons that she's got on her.
Take a rowboat to the island. Who's rowing?
Okay.
I'll row.
It's Tim, yeah. Tim's a...
Emmerich can show off his new arms.
Yeah, put them to work. Because hasn't he got like really beefy arms? Isn't that what
Yeah,
that
he
Umbra
does.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Yeah, he's got
yeah,
huge
yeah, yeah.
arms.
Has he
Yeah.
got tree lift? He's got tree lifters arms, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's massive. Okay.
So he's
And
like-
nobody knows, or some people know, if he had any tattoos.
As people have realised, I think.
Some people have realised. Some people are.
Yeah.
Umbra did that. Why would he put his arms back?
Oh, you did it to like win favour. You got a bunch of joined followers from it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
We did.
So-
It was our miracle.
While Temrin's rowing, he's like, "This is surprisingly easy. Didn't expect this to be so easy." You eventually make your way to the dock. They are already there waiting for you. The half-orc elderly gentleman, a much shorter, almost looks like a halfling, but actually you think it's in fact just a short human who's very, very old, very hunched over. Very long white beard and a rather large crooked eye at this point, and a long nose, balded head. Nice age spot on the forehead, and very thin, white, wispy chin beard dangling down. Seems to be standing on, like resting on a cane. And next to them is a female. Not dark elf. Sorry, high elf. Seemingly high elf. Very long ears, blonde hair. Golden tinged skin, but her eyes are just white, and she's got a slightly lighter tinged blue gown on compared to the others, and they three wait for you.
Greetings. As I've stated before, I'm Captain Vaela Crescent of the Bone Blade, motioning to the ship in the distance. We come with, we come in peace with no all that other style, that shit.
We understand.
Yeah.
And the rest of you? You see the half-orc is very much resting a hand on the hilt of his sword.
Yeah. She'll motion to the rest of everyone else to sort of introduce themselves. Points to Elizora first, then.
Yeah, she didn't like to go last. Elizora Estiedieu, pleasure to be of service.
How's that?
Alright. Okay, just eventually, just like to everybody. Alarias, Tim, Umbra, Temrin.
Just gives a nod. I'm Alarias.
Umbra will
Yeah.
just say, I am Umbra.
Temrin Balin. Short service. That's what we do, right? We bow, right? That's the...
Seems like the appropriate thing to do, yes.
Seems like we should bow.
Yes.
Whatever feels comfortable in your own skin.
And they bow towards you. You have met me already. My name is Zushi. This is Inara. This is Boku.
As you so I assume we're still in the open. Are we still in the open, or have they pulled us away?
You are very much just on the dock. They are not
Okay.
moving yet. You wanted to speak.
Ah, yes.
Speak.
Well, as we've stated before, we have ahead of us a grand adventure of the highest caliber. And yes, as we stated before, we are looking for capable individuals to go and come with us to sail the seas, fight some strong opponents, show their prowess, and then take what they've learnt, come home, if they so wish.
We have lost many young in the last few years. We cannot afford to lose too many more, or we will all die out.
That's very fair. As I said, we would only take those that are willing, assuming they have your blessing to do so. We are not here to, to steal or anything like that. We know of your honor precedes you. We would never do anything on your home to violate that.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, okay, that's not actually. I rolled low, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Unnatural 20.
I see your words are earnest. For this you deserve tea. Come, we shall sit.
Thank you. She'll follow.
And
Are
he
we all
leads you
invited?
Yes, little one.
Good to know.
Elizora will send a hawk to do some reconnaissance.
You notice when the hawk begins to fly around, the elven woman spots it and is just staring at it for a moment, then looks over at you, smiles a little bit, and then carries on.
I nod to her and be like, eyes, because both of us have just white eyes. To say, I know your deal.
Eladrin? Or is there something
No.
else? Oh, it's something else. Oh, okay.
It's a result of a deal,
Oh,
not
okay.
her lineage.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was a warlock thing. Essentially.
Yep.
So they walk you for a little while. There's a few different houses here. They're all very much like, I would say, kind of find the cross in your mind between like a Hawaiian wooden hut and an oriental house. It's on stilts to keep it flat. They have paper sliding doors, but generally the rest of the house is made out of wood and it's got sticks for a roof.
I must say, it's a very beautiful place. You never see anything like this anywhere else in Flood.
And that is why we keep it that way.
Oh, no, very much so. Yes.
They walk up to a particular, slightly larger house, and you can kind of guess this is the tea house. Like there, it is specifically where everyone comes in to get their tea. And the sliding open of the doors, and generally there are cushions everywhere and small tables. They take their slippers off at the door before they walk in.
Out of interest, as we're walking through the town, are people... How are the general public sort of viewing us? Is it like anger? Is it curiosity? Is it just general, just on guardness? Like what it like focused sort of thing?
Generally, all of them are on guard.
Okay.
There is a certain distrust to the air.
Okay.
The younger ones are, oh, something exciting's happening. Nothing ever happens here. This is interesting. Like looking around, trying to peek a view.
Yeah.
But the older ones, some of the ones with quite harsh battle scars, look with particular contempt.
Okay.
But as you enter the tea house, they sort of watch you as you come in, and they kind of nod down to your shoes and look back at you.
Oh, right. Ah, yes. Apologies. And then she'll, like, take her boots off. Unfastening all the clasps that are on it. Takes them off. They're just, well, motioning to the crew to do the same.
I don't think Tim wears shoes.
He's not one in his tokens.
I don't think he does.
No.
Neither does Umbra, apparently, according to his thing. But I don't know.
So-
I don't know if he
Does Umbra wear
changelings.
shoes?
Does he changelings have feet or?
I feel like he wouldn't wear shoes. I don't think.
Is it like just crow? Is it like bird talons?
Yeah, kind of just like bird talons. I think. Yeah, it's like what he's used to.
So the old man Boku, he kind of looks at Tim, looks at Umbra, looks at their feet, and just kind of. I see something to do every day. Carries on in.
Yeah, stifle the outrage, I think.
Fine. The room has the distinct smell of chamomile. Very calming. There seems to be like heated rocks over in one corner, kind of constantly steaming. And people are going around there just inhaling and then moving on and sitting down somewhere. There's very small round tables. Each one has a teapot in the middle, which seemingly constantly has a small fire underneath it. That seems to... It's strange. The fire, every time it looks like it's going to die out, reflames, and every time the tea looks like it's getting too hot, it dampens slightly. No one seems to be interacting with it, but it seems like it's a constant watch. Come. I have a table big enough for us. Yeah, there's this long, more rectangular table. Seating around it. Each of them kneel first with their left knee and their right, putting their right hand forward first and their left hand
Okay, Vaela will do like
on the table.
It's like concentrating on how they're moving and what they're doing. So she will try to like imitate that as she gets down as well as best she can. Probably like juddery and will have to wobble over as she's trying to like focusing too much on it, but
The only one that doesn't sit down is the elven woman, and she looks at all of you and just says, "This is my tea house. I shall get the tea."
thank you. Very nice place.
Thank you. And you hear her call out, "Inari, we need more tea." As a younger elven girl looks more... she looks more like a teenager. And she's like running around, seemingly like a back to go get tea.
So how long has your people inhabited this island? Has it been a long?
We have been here for generations.
Ah, yes. Obviously, we wouldn't necessarily, I know that you were talking about there is like others have claimed there's a magical thing here, but I mean, we've obviously got the same inklings, but we have no way of, confirming whether such a thing even exists.
This island is small. We ourselves have been over it.
That's very
I
fair.
cannot imagine anything to be here unless even the Father hid it from us.
Do you think they would have done?
We do not know much. They say he still walks these lands, but I have not heard from him. None of us have.
Any sort of strange happenings? Noises in the night? Unexplained phenomenon?
He kind of very gently picks up a teapot. Sort of Nara's like come round, set a teapot down and gone on to serve other people, and gently picks up the teapot, passes one hand, pours himself a tea, begins to pour all of your teas. There is only one strange going on we have had in the last few years. And that is the number of people like you coming here.
Well, as I'm sure the same reason that they came, your reputation, your strength, is legendary across the lands. Obviously, you know, you like to keep yourself in isolation, which is fair enough. But even that, you know, your abilities are legendary and are well known and highly sought after because they cannot be replicated. Now, as I've said it before, and you know, I've said it before. You know, all we have done to come here is to offer the opportunity for any who have wanted to do so. And that's all. If we come here and none seek that adventure and seek that challenge, then that is fine. We will be on our way.
There is a grimace to his face, small gritted teeth.
We know your type. The promise of adventure is very attractive to many younglings. But you must see the danger they will not. Now, I ask you, why has everyone's become so interested in our island? What has happened in the world that we do not know about?
She will glance over at Elizora to be like,
I am not a fool.
How much do you know about how our realm became so flooded? Why we called ourselves the Land of Flood, be it so few land.
The Great Flood is mentioned by the odd passerby. Recent visitations has made us more aware of it. We have only known this life.
Many of us is truly the same, but you must understand that you must understand this was not always the case, right?
There have been some who have joined us in years before that have mentioned such things. But
Okay,
again,
good.
forgetting the past and living in our now, our present, is
Well,
part of our way.
that's good, because living in the past is just living with cobwebs. Cobwebs are just gonna turn to dust. But there's something you can understand in how the past could repeat itself. How flood can happen again, but worse. And the flood, as it stands, is created by a god messing around with powerful artifacts. I'm not gonna call it the flood, which is where we are now. But these artifacts have been sought after and found and recovered, and people our needs are coming to a head once again. Come round to Flood 2. And there are those of us who want to find artifacts to sequester them away to prevent them from being used to create Flood 2.
if such a thing was to pass, this glorious land that you have would be swallowed by the sea. An act that even your blades will not be able to prevent.
Now there's rumors, as you've already alluded to, is there's weapon, could be a weapon on this island, and ultimately, we've got no evidence of that either, apart from mere speculation. And that is not why we're here. We're on our way to find a different artifact. But recently, we ourselves came across a powerful foe who slaughtered some of our crew, and we know this is the island with the best of the best. And where else to replenish than to get the best? To find strength where we could not have found them.
Sips his tea, places it down.
My people practice the sword for a strength of the mind. Some, yes, have seen battle, others only know the forms. I fear you expect too much of them. And on top of that, these artifacts, this pistol, you do not know where it is.
Are you gonna call out, or am I? we never said it was a pistol.
He looks at the old man for a second, looks back at you, and leans in very, very close to the table.
I am far more aware than I like my people to think.
Understandable. But as you said, we're not here for this pistol anyway. That's not the primary reason for our visit. But yes, our goal, our mission, as it were, is to save what remains of this realm, world. Yeah. Because we don't want a repeat of the flood incident which swallowed the land.
This flood, was it caused by a demon?
It was caused by the deity
God.
god Joneptia. I'm led to believe they used said artifacts. We are not sure how, but they used them all in unison to create this phenomenon. And as Elizora has pointed out, we are also then trying to retrieve them to remove them from the equation. We have no intention of using them for ourselves.
Have you considered that in finding them, you accelerate our end?
That is as much as uncertainty as leaving them alone.
We're not the only ones looking for them, that's the thing.
Yes.
If we did nothing, they'll be found regardless.
But
In fact, we even come in accords with the fleet to allow such a peaceful searching to happen. It's no longer a competition. It's more of a find and recover rather than a race of arms.
I imagine a lot of your youngs that has left to join pirate crews have met their end in combat with the fleet, the overarching government that takes charge of flood, or so they like to believe. As Elizora pointed out, we have struck a truce with them. Therefore, that particular risk is removed. Only the foes that God said artifacts remain. And whatever horrors await at the sea.
You have brokered world peace.
For now, we just now prevent world destruction.
A common cause to unite all.
What better way to unify than against a common threat?
There have been strange things, dark things. My island has been plagued by raids and attacks, but there also has been dark spirits. I have seen them in my last 20 years, appearing here once before, affecting our children, bearing them with a curse they will never know they possess until it is too late. We lost one not long ago. He too was branded such a thing.
That sounds very unfortunate.
I sense these dark spirits were here for the item you spoke of. And I sense that you do not just have allies in this race for the artifacts, but enemies as well.
And it would be a very considerably bad thing if those enemies were to gain such artifacts and their abilities. If without them they are able to curse your people, who knows what they'd be able to do if they gained the powers of God. Or
So
what
you
they
can
got.
understand why I must protect this island
Of course.
with as many fighters as I can.
But what if the fight cannot be done here? If the fight, or if the situation is something that occurs off-island, you will not be able to do your part in rectifying it. You will just receive the aftermath. And there is no honor in that.
What I am telling you is that there is something to protect. I am protecting my people and perhaps this thing, and if I am going to do so, I need other fighters. I am old. I must have as many younglings learning the way as they can.
What better way to get experience than to be out in the seas?
What better
You
way
said
to
yourself.
get dead?
You said to yourself that they only know the forms. Why better way to learn than to season themselves on the seas? They're not alone. We got our means of resurrection, healing. It is not an all in one and not the other.
Tim, for example, is our ship's doctor. He is able to cure many wounds and restore many ailments.
I can cure anything.
Yeah,
He says confidently.
Yeah. We also have Umbra here, who is our resident alchemist, who is able to do miraculous things.
Yes, amazing things. Let me show you.
No, Umbra, it's okay. Let's not.
Okay.
But there, for an example, he was able to reattach our friend Temarin to his arms that was lost. So we are very capable. But yes, if would you make that decision now? If you would are so willing, maybe a fresh pair of eyes with a variety of knowledge could help you investigate this spirit that plagues your lands, and potentially, if within our ability, rid you of it.
It is true. My people are fighters, warriors. None of them have these capabilities you speak.
I can see you have at least one sort of motioning to the blank-eyed one of magical attuned. We have many of various different facets of magic. Maybe with some of us on. Sorry, maybe there are those on my crew that could find something different, find something else, find something deeper. Within
Inara's eyes see true. Do not be fooled by their coloration.
Oh, I don't doubt it, Elizora. As you can see, Elizora has the same eyes.
Kindred spirits, one might say.
Yes, indeed. So we are aware. But as I said, we offer our services if you would have them. As I said before, we are not here to take. We are here for peace.
I need to protect this island from many battles. One I cannot. Is one of magic. One of spirit. Perhaps if you can find a solution to protecting this island from such dark powers, perhaps then I will discuss with the most adept younglings about a possible pilgrimage of truth.
If you are happy and willing, as a thank you for your hospitality and tea, I would suggest my crew go out, speak to your countrymen, see what they can glean from sightings, any knowledge they may have, and we can piece that together with what we know to at least come up with potentially something. Based on that, you can then decide whether you want our help or don't.
On one condition.
Mm-hmm.
If I find out you've been speaking to them and suggesting that they come away with you before our agreement is done, I will cut off your head.
Well, you will have my word that they will not do so. Is then that right, crew?
Take note of that, Umbra.
Umbra just kind of looks like Shifty.
Tim's head like retreats into his shell.
We'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, see, Tim can dodge it. He just retracts his head,
Yeah.
dodges decapitation.
I can do that as a bonus action, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, he was saying he'd take Vaela's head, right? So we're not
Yeah.
technically.
Oh yeah. It's all on her.
No, but
he looks at all of you and he's like, I will take all of your heads.
Like while we're arguing about it.
You said just the captain said.
I don't think you're going to be able to stop them trying to cut your head off, Umbra, even if you wanted to. But no, I
Okay,
agree.
so
I agree to those
we're
terms.
not allowed to recruit people, basically.
Essentially, yeah, you're not allowed
Yeah.
to advertise. No.
Not until we've cursed them or removed the curse of the oogly booglies from this land.
Yeah. Well, all like I said, all Vaela's agreed to is just, fact find. So that's it. Not not too much more than that. Or at
So-
least, wherever that leads.
You arrived here in the morning,
Mhm.
and tea probably said to you, like, it is the middle of the day. So he kind of sets down his tea, gets up, bows, says, Then I suggest you begin immediately. As you said, time is of the essence.
Indeed.
Would you acquiesce to us procuring our weapons again, just in case we come to blows with the said evil spirit?
We will
Would not want us
find-
short-handed.
We are an island of warriors, as you previously stated. We will find you weapons.
Okay.
Tell us what you seek.
I want an upgrade.
I would.
Um,
I would.
some sort of. Yeah, I need a new great club.
They're the blades. They're swordsmen.
Yeah, I know, but I can't really
Is it like an Odachi
Do they have
or something
anything
that's like
with a blunt edge?
No. Oh, can you not? Okay. Oh, so like don't they have like Odachis that are like big two-handed? Like,
Yeah, I was
samurai swords?
literally just thinking.
But
Something I can
the-
use strength with.
I mean, Vaela would obviously sort of mention that she's a dual wielder. She typically wields two swords, so if they could sort of re-equip her, she'd be much more comfortable.
Okay, so he says, Finish your tea. Meet me at the dojo, and I shall find your weapons there. And he looks at you, Tim, and it's like, You mentioned a club. I have something you might be interested in.
Very well.
Like one of those spiked metal bat things. Those,
It's a cannabo.
is that what they're called? Okay.
Yeah, cannabo?
What kind
Alright.
do it has?
Yeah, cannabo.
Nice. Yeah, and she'll sort of bow as a thank you and continue finishing her tea. Oh, they
He
left.
leads off. You're left with the old man who's still drinking his tea.
Okay.
He's just smiling, looking at you. Or
I mean, it's just an old. She.
It's so nice to have company.
Oh, and you are
We
very.
should get going.
Well, finish your tea, Tim. At least
Tim's creeped out, man.
Accept the hospitality. We are guests here.
Do not be rude, boy.
Exactly. Enjoy the tea. You're not going to get it anywhere else.
I apologize. I was thinking about my club.
Yes.
You must focus on your tea.
and he like takes his cane and taps you on the back of the shell to sit you back down.
Are
Like
we
a
all
push.
drinking the tea? Because Umbra's not going to drink his tea.
Or he'd look at you and go, "It's very rude not to drink your tea."
He's a bit of an odd one, this one. He doesn't really partake in the usual affairs.
No.
We're not actually sure whether he actually eats or drinks. We've never actually seen him eat or drink
His
on the ship.
smile turns to a frown, turns to a glare at you, Umbra, and he readies the cane pointing towards you. You must always drink your tea when it is given by a host.
I never drink tea.
You can smack him if you want to. I don't mind.
It might do him some good.
Yes, it might knock something a bit, you know.
So
Smack
he
some
just
manners into
rests
him.
the cane on your shoulder, Umbra. Drink the tea.
Can I take the tiniest sip possible?
It's very nice tea, Umbra.
Nah,
It's very pleasant.
Umbra doesn't trust it.
I will say, as an alchemist, as an apothecary or whatever you're called these days, you literally cannot taste any hidden drug, chemical, or anything amongst this tea. It is just herbal tea.
Mm. Do you have the recipe?
No, I don't. Not my tea. Inara will have the recipe, or you could ask Inari, her daughter.
Yes. Where is she?
Up there.
Okay, I'm going to make a note to go ask her for the tea once we're done here.
I'll just be right back.
As sort of Vaela finishes the tea, she'll sort of get up and go to leave and sort of mention to everyone else, like, so once you've, stay, finish your tea, and then once you're done, you know what you need to do. If you've got any issues, I'll be around doing the same. And she'll sort of get up to leave. She'll probably wait outside for everybody, so, you don't want to walk around this place until she's got her sword. So she'll just wait outside, sort of glancing around while everyone else finishes off their tea.
Does anyone want to do anything else in the tea house?
Can I just go get the recipe?
Are you going to Inara, the elven woman you met, or Inari, her daughter?
The daughter?
Oh, hi. You're
Hello.
I've never seen anyone dressed like that. Do you want some more tea?
No. Yes. And I would also like the recipe.
You want the recipe for our tea?
Yes. And the ingredients, if possible.
I suppose you're not sticking around. Sure. I
Good.
suppose if you ask nicely. My mother always said to be wary of manners.
I don't understand what you mean. I've already asked for the tea.
No, you have to say please,
Why?
because it's polite.
I don't understand. Is this a trick? You want something, don't you? What do you want?
I've met
I
strange
have gold.
people in my time, but you are very strange, sir.
I'll take out a gold coin.
We don't have money here. Everyone serves each other. It's just how we take care of each other on this island. It's a community. You are guests. I will give you the tea. I just request politeness, sir.
Please, may I have the tea?
Of course, absolutely. Let me go get some.
These are strange people.
She goes out back, and she comes back, and she kind of has like a very small leather bag. Seems to have like dried leaves, possibly some twig in there. There's a few other different things.
Mm.
She says, It also looks like there's a small amount of dried like blossom, like petals.
Interesting. Okay.
They seem to be a bit fresher than everything else. This is our blend, I suppose you'd call it. Here you go. Enjoy on your travels. Use that within a couple of weeks because we put some blossom petal in there, and it's once that dies and rots, it's not as good for the flavor.
You have
Also,
done well.
make sure to brew the tea for at least a minute, otherwise you won't get any of the infusion flavor in there. Keep the water hot but not boiling.
Very good. You have served me well. I thank you.
You are most welcome, stranger.
Going to slink off. Speak.
Kind of looks round as you're leaving and very questioningly. So, you all go up to the dojo.
Yes.
He opens like the sliding door. This is the biggest building they have. It's not a taller structure, it's a wider structure. More stilts to make a flat and wide enough space for training and such. And it's just sort of slightly lower to the cherry blossom tree. The blossom tree actually overarches some of it, and where they've got like a canopied roof section on above the dojo, the blossom tree kind of overreaches and slightly overhangs. And Zushi goes in and opens up and says, as you will be a part of this island, you will use our weapons. For the blade, and he puts a hand out, these are on-board weaponry. If you need something more custom, I can ask if the blacksmith Shu has a chance to make something, but it will probably take some time. And then he also, for anything a little bit different, and he points to the left, and you can see there's a kanabo, which is like a great club, but with iron spikes around it. There is, oh my god, all the words, kind of like a glaive, basically. Glaive, but the other version. It's also there, and he's got a couple of crossbows there as well.
Yeah, Vaela will take 2 swords. 2 normal, I guess, katanas.
They feel particularly light and well balanced. The metal seems like it's got a good, decent tang to it.
Oh, nice. Should we give
Not
it a-
only is the weight incredible, actually, it feels lighter than even your blade.
She'll give it a few like swings just to get a feel for, a feel for it.
It's nice. It's very, very nice. There's a smoothness to it. It feels like it doesn't actually move through the air, but cuts through the air.
This is amazing. Never used anything like this.
We have relied on the sword to be part of our way for many, many years now. We know how to make them. We know how to wield them.
Yes. Do you think you're going to be able to carry that thing, Tom? Tim, sorry. It looks very very heavy.
Tim, stunned silence at the
Just-
kanabo,
just
looking at it just like,
Looking at it all.
Whoa. Is there anything else you need? You others do not seem to wish to pick up weapons.
I don't know whether Umbra picks up it because he's not got his sickle, right? So does he pick up like one of those, the smaller blades that the samurais carry?
Yeah, I think he'll take one of those little ones. Yeah, that's what he's used to.
Elizora just tap her staff on the ground. That's what it's
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the staff. I don't fight hand to hand with weapons.
It is understandable, if that is your way.
as He begins to walk towards the door. He opens up and he says, "There is a hut on the beach. That is where our worst situation of dark spirits happened. And that is all that is left.
Is that the one that
No
was
one
like?
goes there."
Is that the one that was like on, not like on fire, but like destroyed when we saw it from the
Yeah.
ship? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We can,
And he puts a hand just up before you leave. "It is a sensitive subject. A youngling was born there. The mother did not survive."
see. So we must show some the appropriate respect, Umbra.
Just kind of like looks around confused.
Also,
She doesn't even look at you when she said it. She's still like talking to.
he also says, "It was on the night of a red moon."
We get red. We get red moons, don't we? Normally, like out in the sea. Or was that?
We've had one once, and that was when Grisil got approached.
Right. Okay. So it's something that we know, like it does exist, sort of thing.
Yeah, you're aware of red moons.
Yeah.
So there's in your lifetimes, you've only seen like 1 or 2 red moons. There's no like cyclical reasoning for it. It just seems to happen at certain times for whatever reason.
Right. And it's
there
sort
have
of,
also
and I
been-
guess I assume it's like universal as well, like everywhere. Like if
Everyone
Everyone
has
gets it.
red moon. Yes.
so, it's not like an eclipse or something. That's
No.
okay. Okay. I know we had one recently. Was it back then?
Yes. On that night.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think she was with the ship then, so I don't think she would have known anything like that. Okay. Well, I can start my investigation there, while the others do whatever they feel is best. Actually, I think Alarias, if you follow me as well, if there's any magic residue at the place, I think you might be best equipped to, I don't know, send out your feelers or whatever it is that you do.
Yep, I'll get the vibe check. Magic
Temarin,
vibe check.
Temarin just goes to you, "Captain, what shall I do?"
See what you can find out about the land, their spirits. You know, you are the most researched of us. You may be able to use what you know already of, you know, and see if you can build on that.
"I'll do my best."
Because he was talking about something darker that he was talking, you know, about with Phineas.
You just hear him say to the other man, it's just like, "Do you have a library?" And he goes, "Any books or teachings we have here in the dojo, so you might..." And Temarin just walks past him straight towards wherever he pointed towards books.
He loves to read that one.
"I can see."
Yeah, Elizora, Tim, Umbra, I guess do whatever you feel will help. Umbra, behave.
Just looks like around again, confused.
And then and then what? Dismissed everyone, I guess. I don't know how that really works when you're not on a ship. As you were, I don't know what the proper appropriate, like OC. I have no idea what this is saying, but whatever. Disperse.
Fan out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Vaela will start heading towards the that wreck of a house. Hopefully, with
Okay, we'll
Alarias
start
in
with
tow.
you guys while the others figure out technical issues and what they want to do. So as you get down there, it's a lone hut on the beach. As I said last time, it's got a caved-in roof. The windows are torn. There is a single opening archway of what used to be a door. Seems very much abandoned.
Is there like any kind of scorch marks or any kind of like
On the
damage
outside.
to the surfaces? No. Anything on the inside that would denote like burning or
You venture in.
Yeah.
Roll investigation checks for me, please. You can either do it with advantage, or you can each do one. Your choice.
I don't know.
Do one each. I got +7.
To be fair, I've only got a +2. I think you're better off giving you advantage.
Alright.
Alarias, what do you LFIC?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Send out your
26.
feelers, Alarias. Send out your feelers.
Touch the ground. It just feels everything. 26, yeah.
26. You go into like full detective mode. Like you're staring at this place and you're thinking, whatever happened here? No one tidied. No one cleaned the place. It's almost like a memorial of whatever happened before. All the details are there. But the bed had been slept in. And the inside is very, very, what's the word? It's very, very humble. There is a sort of a single living area, a bed to one side, a small cooking sort of stovetop area, and then where the roof is caved in, actually there's no debris on this side. So it looks like instead of being caved in, whatever happened actually punched out. There is not a body there, not anymore, but the stains of blood all over the floor, soaked into the wood, dyed it over time.
So when you say something like punched it from inside, is it a lot like what? Do we know how big that punch was?
It's a huge hole. It looks like a cave in. So I'd say probably a 5 to 6 foot wide gap,
So, okay,
diameter hole in the.
Do we reckon it would be? I suppose they would have known if it was like some kind of magical blast, or whether it was like an actual physical. Was it a magical impact or a physical impact?
Do
I'd
an
say with
Arcana.
your check,
Oh.
because there's no debris necessarily, like inside, you know that it's gone out. But the fact that everything else has begun to cave in slightly, but the rest of the structure hasn't really been affected, it seems like more of a magical impact than necessarily a physical one, because a physical one would have probably damaged some of the other parts of the structure by holding that in place. Especially with the way that this roof is fixed together, it's just twigs upon twigs upon twigs, so that should have really stretched a lot further rather than just this section essentially disappeared.
Now this might be quite difficult to do, because obviously it's not exactly going to be. Is there a way of sort of triangulating the source of the blast inside the house?
I'd say with Alarias with his 26 investigation check, you can see that where the blood is on the floor, where the stain is, there is a direct line out and up. Also, where these paper windows are torn, you can tell some of these are claw marks from the inside, like claws scratching against the wall, and they've torn the paper windows as they've gone past. And there's one other thing you notice, Alarias, and that is very small, very fine, very short, generally around the house, green hairs.
Can't say if I recognise those Azora's hairs, but
I mean, you've only met one
did-
person with green hair before, that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. I mean,
But-
he'll
but-
relay that to Vaela, saying that he did meet Zora with, it's a long shot, but
Was Zoro on the ship when the last blood
he
moon?
left.
So he was gone by then.
Oh, on the Blood Moon. I don't
The
remember.
last Blood Moon, he wasn't on the ship anymore.
You
The
don't
Blood
think that's-
Moon that they talked about wherever this is happening was 20 years ago, though.
Oh, okay. I thought we were because obviously one happened recently with Gruzeal, so I didn't know whether it was that
Yes,
one.
nothing. So I'll say he elaborated, saying that nothing happened here, but we saw it in the sky.
Right.
We had our wits about us, but nothing appeared.
Right. So, okay. So 20 years ago there was a blood moon, and that's what caused this thing. See, this is when Kethra would have been handy as well, because Kethra knew a bit more about the weird, shady stuff going on with Zorro. Okay. So, all right. I mean, I don't really know this Zorro fellow. I know that obviously he was part of the ship at one point, and then for whatever reason he wasn't. I don't really understand. Don't really know the details. I think it was him that was leaving, rather than being kicked or thrown off. But was there anything weird about him? Any, I don't know, random energy beams leaving his body?
I can't remember myself. I don't know if Alarias would remember, but and I'm not sure how much he knew about Zorro.
You
He'll
take
say
memory
that
potion, so
yeah.
remember more.
Yeah, actually, because of the memory potion, you would remember Zorro coming on board. You'd remember what he looked like. You remember his hair. You remember sort of the short time with Zorro where he sort of decided to stay on with up until him staying on with Bloodbeard when you decided to go onto the Boneblade.
I suppose curious there, like when Alarias first met Zorro, was that within the last 20 years? Like, did that happen
Yes.
after? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I know there was one particular event with Slayer.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
So
There was something very
I'll tell
strange.
you. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You remember.
Yeah.
It's fine. It happened. It was in session. Slayer picked up something on Zorro. I will also add on top of that the last time you saw Zorro, when he seemed to be assisting the fleet, his eyes did not look the same. Tim specifically witnessed that, but I'm pretty sure he told everyone.
I don't know whether any of us noticed as well that Zorro was like affected by that demon, like spell that Slayer was using. Right, wasn't it like he was casting some kind of demon spell? I can't remember if it was a summon or
The
seal.
nightmare.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know if it was like a summon or seal it or whatever, but like I remember Zorro feeling weird, but I don't know if anyone ever picked up on that on our side.
So Slayer did tell Branimir, and I'm pretty sure one of you listened in, but I can't remember who it was. Kethra
Okay, so
listened
we
in.
don't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
I was
fine.
saying, I probably don't know
No,
to
that's
that extent.
fine.
I mean, I'll say he was unhinged, in some aspects.
I mean, it's not entirely wrong. He'd also, fall asleep and wake up and be somewhere else entirely.
I mean, that's just a drunk, unhinged, wakes up somewhere different, And from what I've heard, one of the few things that people actually did tell me about Zorro is that he used to drink a lot. So, that's not doesn't necessarily mean it's the same person. Now, obviously, I don't know how common green hair is. It's interesting that his hair is still here after 20 years, but you would have thought it would have degraded by now.
How do you inspect the scene? Do you just look around, pick anything up?
So, I think at first, obviously, Vaela hearing Alarias' findings will start looking closer at. Initially, anyway, we'll start looking at the sort of blood area. See if there's any other remnants of anything. Obviously, you've said there's hair there, but if there's any other remnants of anything. Failing that, we'll then start to rummage, drawers, cupboards, anything that, chests if there are some. Basically to see if there's like any kind of notes, journals, letters, anything that would sort of, I don't know, either confirm who lives here. I mean, I know we can just ask, but it seems like a sensitive subject. But either confirm who lives here or any kind of descent into madness or any kind of, thing like that.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
I can help with this, as we can kind of tag team.
Okay, I'll do advantage then.
You can have advantage.
13.
13. You look around. Seems quite bare, this place. Wasn't really much here. It was very humble in that respect. There is some rotted food. There is even some ragged clothes by the bed. But there is not much else.
And you said there was claw marks on the door, and they came from inside, right? That's all. That was the observation. Is that the claw marks were from inside rather than from outside.
Mm-hmm.
It would sound like that. Whatever happened here, it was originated from this one person. Doesn't look like. Well, unless it was some kind of spirit or ghost, as they've sort of suggested, that could pass through walls. Nothing entered here. It was something that afflicted this person. What caused this affliction, though? We may need to find out, probably from the more elder, is if this person, if it is Zorro, if they ventured out anywhere, prior to these events. If they went to some specific cave or specific area on the island, maybe something there could give us a clue.
It could have been possession. He could have picked up some sort of item and it cursed him.
Potentially, yes. I mean, all we can do is hope there's something else, something there, some resemblance of, I don't know, maybe there's a tombstone, or as you said, like an item of, you get bad vibes from. I think.
Yeah.
I think if you can confirm. Actually, no, I'll confirm if it is Zorro that lived here. Because if it is, then obviously that gives us a little bit more to go on, as you obviously know of him. I believe Tim was around at that time as well. Maybe Tim will have some observations about Zorro. Potentially. If he's a doctor. I don't know if he was a doctor back then. Maybe something as part of the, I don't know, medical examination found something, like some weird glyphs, markings, tattoos, I don't know. Clutching at straws
He was fairly private. He wouldn't have given that sort of thing away. But I'll take some of the green hair. That's kind of proof, though.
It's fairly
could have been
like
Zorro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you roll an Arcana check for me?
I can indeed.
Yeah, and there was nothing else.
Nat 20.
Wow.
The minute you pick up the green hair, you almost get like a flash vision. And as if from someone else's perspective, blood dripping over your face and over your eyes, and you are clawing at the world, trying to understand where you are. You stand up, angry, enraged, you don't know why. You roar at the ceiling, and you scratch at everything around you. And then almost just as quickly, you shrink down, curl up in the ball, and begin to cry, surrounded by a pool of blood. You were in the same room that you were in now. The flash is gone.
Alarias, Why you stop spacing out?
Whoa, he's gonna kind of like step back a bit, almost like about to faint. Like, whoa, well, that was a very, very intense sensation.
I was only. What happened?
The whole scene flashed in front of me. I could see myself clawing through the windows, slashing, covered in blood. Something terrible happened here. Some horrible beast. I
Did you
didn't
see that?
see.
Lightning just strikes outside.
Great.
Was it where was it? Was it Zorro?
It was point of view. I couldn't. Could I pick up any of those details, like who I was? Was there people around me? Did I injure someone or?
Your
So
vision was
quick.
blurred by blood. You
Yeah.
couldn't even see
Yeah.
around you. You were just angry, enraged. Something had angered you. Or upset. Then just suddenly just felt very weak and small. Began to cry.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what caused the new sunlight? Was that in there?
No, I just saw the chlorine marks, and suddenly I kind of felt weaker, like I'd grown in on myself, gotten smaller.
So it sounds very werewolf-like. I mean, we obviously know
Yeah.
Slayer was a werewolf, so it would almost sound like. I mean, we know that this happened on a blood moon. Now, maybe this is maybe it's a specific type of werewolf. Who knows? But it certainly sounds like it. With claw marks, obviously that doesn't answer that, but it would have certainly explain the growing, the smaller, the claw marks at the moon.
He could have been a shapeshifter, a werewolf. It worries me that last time we saw him, he was not himself, and he was with Cleric.
Well, from what I understand, he was under mind control, was he not?
Yeah, but what is he doing with them? Does he still have them? You know, he could have gone on a rampage here. It's a deadly man to have under your power.
Possibly.
Yeah, he may have, you know, killed some people in this village. So it might be quite a sore subject to bring up.
He's a good guy.
As-
He wouldn't
as
do
you- I don't know. Wanted signs everywhere.
that. No. He's been framed.
It's been framed. I swear, would you turn into a green? Okay, anyway, that's
Yeah, maybe hold, but don't mention Zora straight away. I feel like this.
Well, I'll just
Could be a-
simply ask who lived here. You know,
Hmm.
not gonna rather than is it Zorro, and then kind of go from there. Because again, if it is Zorro, that sort of make things a little bit easier. We have a little bit more to go on. Yeah, but we need to do some more investigation, I think.
Yeah, we need to know what he was doing in Kenshima, where he went.
The only other thing I can think of. Oh no, you said these places are on stilts, right? So
Yeah, to keep them level.
yeah, so there wouldn't be necessarily like like a trapdoor situation because it's sort of slightly higher than the ground.
You going to search for a trapdoor?
I was going to sort of tap the bottom with the bottom of the katanas, but then if it's raised, then it wouldn't exist. But she'll look for one if there's space for that to happen.
Roll investigation check.
Okay.
You give an advantage as you're working together.
Ooh, nice. 21.
You don't find a trapdoor.
Okay.
But what you do find is a secret compartment.
Huh.
Small.
Okay.
There is a diary in there.
Nice. She will... Wait. Alarias, any weird vibes coming off this thing? I ain't gonna touch no werewolf journal or book. You know, this could be a cursed thing for all I know. Did you get anything out of it from it?
Yeah, I'll do an Arcana check. Can I get advantage?
No.
Send that one.
Oh, okay.
Got two
Don't
extremes.
feel anything coming from this one.
I think you're safe, Vaela. Read away.
She would blindly trust Alarias, and will pick up the journal or book, or whatever it is.
It seems to be a diary, or at least someone's note takings for themselves.
Okay. What is it? Written in common, or is it another?
It is written in common.
Okay. Yeah. This is
The first,
Sorry. Yeah.
sorry, the first few pages are discussing, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how this could happen. It's not possible. It doesn't make any sense. And I will write down my days and understand why this is happening.
Okay. Is there like a lot written in here? Is it like a pretty full-on thing?
You notice as you flick pages, there are pages ripped out.
Of course.
But the initial ones are like that.
Yeah.
I will say, as you're reading through, I need a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, joy. Okay. Oh, man. 11.
Do I notice anything? As Vael is reading, can I get a sense?
You take 10
Cool.
fire damage as your hands begin to burn as you get to a certain page or a certain part of the book. As your hands begin to burn, you let go, and the book falls like it's about to open and shuts.
Alarias.
Whoa, what the?
You could have.
Vaela, what did you do?
I was just flicking through it. You couldn't sense that was going to do that.
I think I used up all my senses for that.
That's
Don't forget your
that's
10
nice.
fire damage.
Yeah, no, I've done that. Well, I mean,
Do you want me to try?
well, we know that there's something in here, and if something is that well protected, then you know it's definitely juicy. We just need to figure out a good way of getting into it.
Can I use
What happened, sorry, with the book?
Sorry, say that again.
wisdom saving?
Wisdom save.
Took
Ah,
5 damage.
Yeah, it took 5
Yeah,
damage. On a certain
Can
page.
I'm just saying
Can I-
Zora's not very magical, you know, so, you know, I think...
Yeah. What? Something going on. Can I use mending to repair pages in a ripped book?
So
think
you
can.
can, if you had the original page, you could put it
Yeah,
back
yeah.
together, but you won't have. I would also say you could put any parchment and attach it back, but you won't necessarily have the original content if you don't
Yeah.
have the original page.
I mean, the fact that that thing's on, like, burned you, it sounds like there is something there. We just need to be able to. Someone
Use
maybe.
mage hand.
Well, we could do actually. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Just
Some-
have it
or-
on the floor.
Or at least someone who actually has a wisdom save that is a +1.
I got +6. I can give it a try.
You know what? You want to give it a go, Alarias? By all means.
Why not? So he'll pick it up, kind of go through the pages, look through.
You read the same things as before. I don't know how this happened. This isn't possible. This doesn't make sense. And I need a wisdom saving throw.
Gonna give him
21.
advantage because be careful. This is the bit, prepare
Yeah.
himself.
No,
Ah,
you
okay.
can't give him advantage.
It's the page.
This is the
I
one.
got I got
Brace.
yeah. 21.
You feel the heat begin, and you will your mind against it. And you look down at the pages before you, and you whisper like arcane magic to chill your fingers against the heat. And you carry on with the pages as your fingers begin to steam. There are demonic patterns and glyphs. Ones you've seen somewhat before in Phineas Balin's house with the portals they were looking into. And then there's some other bits. And as you read on, you see other pages. I must be due soon. I have no husband. I had no relations. I don't know how this happened. But my baby is coming into the world soon, and I will have a name for him. I know it's a boy. I just know it. My little Zorro.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And then
Oh, God.
after that, there is no other entries. There is no other addances. It seems like if there was going to be any other message, the person writing did not have a chance to write them.
Okay. Zoro's mother's journal. Wow.
Very. Did not expect that. Very interesting.
Wow.
Oh, this 100% confirms it.
Yeah. See, I knew they were demonic.
Yeah.
Circles.
Yeah. Your hunch was right.
And I tell you what. Yeah, Alarias, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Or a history check. You can pick which one.
I get +7 with that. That's unnatural 20.
These symbols are some kind of demon summoning in a way that uses a sacrifice. It seems less likely that whoever she was, less likely that she put those things here. But it seems like whatever it is still magically going strong. The other thing is, there was more than one page with the glyphs on it, and you only need the glyphs once to do a summon. You counted 3 pages with summoning glyphs.
That's not good.
No. It'd be interesting to who's the sacrifice, right? Is it the mother? Was she planning on sacrificing Zorro? You know, like what?
Maybe she
you don't
found out something about it.
Is it the summoning? Is it like was it? What did you say about a husband? That there was a mention about a husband on there.
I have no husband.
Yeah. So that means she's probably manifested Zorro as a form of summoning.
Yeah.
So is summoning Zorro through her body, I guess? But then why would there be 3 of them? You know, because you only can if you're offering yourself, like you're only going to do that once.
Maybe there's more Zoros.
But then who are you sacrificing? You know.
Maybe there's a cult, little demonic cult.
Okay. Sort of 2 things, I guess.
It's a lot.
You know the handwriting? I suppose you don't really have handwriting on glyphs, but assuming there's any kind of writing on those pages, is it in a similar handwriting? I don't know if you can tell handwriting style. Like, you know, if it's all leaning, you know, like, is it of a similar sort of?
I would say,
thing?
Alarias, with your penmanship, you would probably be able to recognize similar handwriting, and I'd say with your previous checks being as good as they were, you can tell that the glyphs were not written in her hand, but seemingly placed on something that was dear to her, such as her diary.
Huh.
So whoever put them there was able to get close.
So the glyphs weren't done by her.
No. But obviously close enough to be able to get to her, because obviously we have no break-in, right? So to get close enough to her that she had her diary out of the secret compartment that we know exists, to write in it. Because if someone just turned up, like a friend and stuff, that the diary wouldn't be out. It'd be in the secret place.
There's someone else involved.
But it'd be worth finding out if the person that was living there was living with anybody else, or whether they were living alone. Like if they were living like with a relative or something, like a sister or brother or whatever. Like, Because that's obviously a family member is someone that, if they're in the cult, you know, potentially.
Yeah, we need to know more about who was living here.
Yeah. Yeah. But as you said, it's it's going to be a sensitive subject. It's going to be a very difficult one to figure out. Like, how do you weasel around that?
We found a lot of new information that they've probably never seen before, or never found themselves. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually half tempted to take it to the elder to see what he knows.
yeah, I'll hand the journal to you.
Okay.
Closed.
Closed.
Yeah,
close
we
it.
read it. We read everything. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll speak to the ones in charge about this. I don't want the word of this getting out. But see what you can find about, while I'm doing that, see what you can find about the residents of this place, who lived here, who they lived here, all that stuff. See what you can find out. I'll let Elizora know, because Elizora's always got the one with all the information, you know. So I'm sure Elizora's gonna take this and piece it together with anything else she finds. She's better at thinking than I am about these kind of things.
Don't put yourself so down.
I just make the decisions, you know. But anyway, but no, great work, Alarias. We got a lot of information from this derelict of a house.
I would be careful about who we tell this to,
Well, I don't,
because they might still be here. We don't know if she was working alone or not.
True. Who knows? The elder might be on it, I guess. I suppose what we should do is see how regroup with the rest of the crew, because we've been here for, I don't know, a couple of hours. I don't know how long we've been here for. We've been here for quite a while, so we'll see what everyone else has done, compare notes as they were, and then decide from there before we get the Kenshimans involved.
In which case,
Yeah.
I say, what a perfect way to end this episode of Pirate Adventures. Will you find out whether Zorro was the only one, or if perhaps there are more? Are they still on the island, you question? And how did the other group do in whatever investigations they may or may not have done? Tune in next time on Pirate Adventures.